Hi, and welcome to City Corner, an ongoing program where we talk about what's happening in our community. Today's program is a special one because we are talking with citizen volunteers about the importance of public service. Hello, I'm Hollie Logan, and joining me for the first half of our show is Chris Newbill, a volunteer with the Richland Police Department's VIPS program. And later we will talk with a citizen volunteer for Parks and Recreation. Welcome, Chris.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me today.
Okay.
Yeah, so Volunteer and Police Services, or VIPS as we call it, what is this and what needs do the volunteers help the police department fill?
Well, it's actually by the name. It's volunteer organization of mostly retired people because they have the time to volunteer.
Sure.
And what we do, we're just citizens who help the police department do some of the things that the city wants them to do. But activities that don't require a trained police officer, and they don't want us to be, dealing with bad guys.
Sure.
So these are things that we can do that allow the police officers then to concentrate on taking care of the bad guys in the
they
community.
can do the hard stuff, right?
They can do the dangerous
The
stuff, the
dangerous
hard
stuff.
stuff, the things they're really trained to do.
Right. So how many members are in the VIPS group?
I think we have 37 right now, and that's about what we usually run.
Okay.
It works out to be a good number for us, I think, to cover the activities we do.
Sure. So you talked about what VIPS is. What are some of the skills and tasks that you guys
some
and
of the activities?
Right.
Okay, one thing we do is the mail run, where we take information for the court cases for that day from the Richland Police Department over to the Justice Center, which is over in Kennewick, near Columbia Center. So we take those over each day, which is an important activity because the police officers used to do that, and I know I've talked to some that said, they were doing this and they were wondering, why am I doing this? And if they get a call that they have an active shooter or something, they have a priority. They have to go to that, and then the information for the court cases don't get delivered that day, and somebody walks, that should be arrested, that should be incarcerated.
Those are important too.
That's important, but it doesn't require a trained police officer carrying a .45 to take mail over to the Justice Center, so we can do that. Another program that we have is vacation house checks when people go on vacation, or right now we have a lot of snowbirds. We go around to their house, we check the doors, make sure the doors are locked, and kind of look at the windows and kind of look over the house and make sure it hasn't been burglarized. If we do find doors that are unlocked, we have a couple of police officers that come and they clear the house and make sure there's no burglars in there. So that's a lot of people like that program. A lot of snowbirds use it. Another thing we do is handicap parking. We do handicap parking enforcement, so trained police officers don't need to do that, but it's kind of an important activity for handicapped people, so that they have a place to park.
How many hours do you think that you volunteer every week as a VIP?
It varies. Some are a lot more active than others.
Sure.
I'm kind of one of the more active ones, so I have 800 hours so far this year.
Wow.
And I have had up to almost 1,600. But most volunteers probably average about 150 hours a year, I think, so maybe 200. So they're doing like 10 or 15 hours a month or so.
That's amazing.
A few hours a week.
A great service to the city. So how many members are in the VIPS group? And talk about the diversity of each volunteer work that these individuals provide to the city.
Okay, we have about 37 volunteers. And as I mentioned, a few things like mail run and vacation house checks and handicap parking. Well, today I ran a couple of cars up to the shop. So when cars need to go to the shops for repairs or service, we help with that. We also help inventory the cars because the cars are supposed to have, it's quite a checklist of items each car is supposed to have. So quarterly we help inventory the cars, make sure they have what they need.
The equipment that they need.
The equipment they need to do their jobs.
And the maintenance.
Yes, yes.
Do our cars have snow tires on them?
Most of them do.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that
so this time
people
of year,
want.
Right.
Yep, and we do that too.
Okay.
We take the cars up to Tire Factory and get the tires changed out and bring them back.
That all takes time.
Yeah, fall and spring, so we do those things. Some couple of other activities people are active in right now is street light checks. They go around at night. It's kind of an opportunity in the wintertime, since the nights are long, you can go out and actually check street lights and not have to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning. But But Rick Yant is involved in that, and we go around and look for street lights that are out, and then we notify the city and let them know about street lights that are out. So, which is a safety issue for the community.
And are you able to help with reporting of any other code enforcement issues, maybe within the
We
city
do.
that you identify?
On occasion, we're requested to go out. I know I've taken pictures of people that had weeds that were overgrown on George Washington Way, and then you match that up with the house number on the other side, and I helped with that. But another thing we've been doing recently too, pretty actively in, is graffiti abatement. So we're looking for graffiti in the city. We're trying to discourage. It's usually kids, but if it's gangs, we like to get that cleaned up, so it discourages the gangs from coming around here. Let them know we're watching, we see you. Yeah, you're not welcome.
We'll cover it up real quick.
Yeah, it discourages them from doing more.
Sure.
You know, if you leave it, then they start painting everything.
Right. Okay. So tell us, why do you volunteer?
Well, I went to the Citizens Academy, and I was very impressed with the police officers. And then we had the opportunity to volunteer and do some of these things to help the officers. And I thought, I'd like to do this. And I got into it, and I've been pretty active now for about almost 10 years. And I've done a lot of the activities, and it's fun. It's you're doing something that helps the community.
Right.
You're helping the police officers. You're letting them prioritize what they do, so that they can concentrate on the things that they're really trained to do.
Right.
And you know, just as a volunteer, you're giving of yourself, and there's always that good feeling. You know, that's what Christmas is supposed to be about too. The holiday season,
time of year especially.
The giving season, and this way you get to give all year round.
Right. Yes. Well, I know that the staff certainly appreciate all of the VIPs and their participation. So you mentioned the Citizens Academy.
Yes.
How else can citizens get involved with VIPs?
Okay, first you do need to go through the Citizens Academy. That's required.
That's a requirement?
It is a requirement. It helps you understand how the police department works, and you get to kind of know some of the officers and what their personalities are, and then it gives you a good idea of whether or not you want to volunteer and kind of work with these people or contribute to them. So the Citizens Academy always is the first Tuesday in January through about mid-March. It's every Tuesday from 7 to 9:30. This year is full. 2017 is full.
Wow,
so you'll have to wait until next fall, and then go on Facebook. There should be on the Facebook, or the city web page should tell you how to apply for Citizens Academy for 2018.
Okay.
So, but it's a popular program, and it's full. We've got 46 applications already this year. So.
And do you learn specifically about the efforts of the police department or the city as a whole?
Specifically the police department.
Okay.
The chief comes in and talks, and the captains talk about what they do, and then you get to see patrol. They come in, some of the patrol officers, they talk about what they do. Metro, the officer that gave us a presentation was fabulous, very entertaining, very informative. Of course, they dress up in beards and they go undercover and all that sort of thing. The bomb squad talks to you. SWAT, you get to see what things they use, what kinds of things they do. Then the Judge Burroughs, has been coming in talking about his work as a judge. So it's not just the police department, but the justice system. We have a couple of sort of field days. We go up to CCOM, Southeast Communications, which is dispatch, which dispatches the officers, and you get to go up there, and that's also the emergency center for the area. You get a tour of that area. Plus, you have a tour of the jail, and they take you around there, and you get to see the jail. Then we have a demo day where you go out to the range, and you get to shoot the guns that the officers carry, and you get to drive the cars, and they have a bomb demonstration.
Cool. I want to do that.
Yeah, you should take Citizens Academy.
Right. Yeah.
So you go through that, and it familiarizes you with the things they do. And after that, I was, I wanted to help out. So.
Well, and it gives you appreciation of what our police department is really made up of. You say the SWAT and, you know, the bomb squad and some of these other branches of the RPD, and it's pretty fascinating.
And it's not just the RPD then, it's regional SWAT.
Right.
So it's regional bomb squad. They go throughout a lot of eastern Washington.
Right.
So.
Great. Well, how does the support of VIPs aid in the quality and safety of life here in Richland?
Well, helping the officers obviously helps the community, and doing some of these things that relieves the officers to concentrate on handling the bad guys, aids the safety. Plus things like street lights and handicap parking helps the handicapped people get the spots that they need.
Sure.
Plus taking the mail over to the Justice Center every day keeps the bad guys from walking if the officers get called away on a priority. The vacation house checks, we're checking on their houses. Some of the other graffiti helps.
You know, when we were talking earlier also about helping people when we have large events at John Dam Plaza.
Exactly.
Or at the Hapo Community Stage, you know, people are crossing these main thoroughfares.
Jadwin is very dangerous.
Right. So the VIPs are always out there. I see them helping out with people crossing safely. So
exactly.
That's really great
Yeah,
too.
we've been helping out with the events in John Dam Plaza and manning the crosswalk there. And
right, and I've seen some VIPs also
live
show
at
the
5,
kids the rigs,
show the car. Yeah.
And give them the little badges.
Yeah.
My kids love that too.
Yeah, National Night Out, Art in the Park, Live at 5, a lot of other activities we take the car to. We just had Cops and Kids.
I saw that.
December,
Yeah.
where the police, take the needy children around and buy them gifts, and
It's amazing.
and we wrapped them, and the kids, they enjoy that.
That's rewarding.
So,
That's
yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, it's a great event.
Well, good. Well, thank you, Chris, for all of your volunteer efforts and your support of our Richland Police Department. We'll be back in just a moment to talk with a citizen who gives us time and to support our Richland Park system. Welcome back, and joining us now on the program is Elder Jaden Louty with LDS Missionary Services. Welcome, Jaden.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, first off, tell us why your group is so dedicated to giving back to our community.
First of all, we absolutely love the people here. The people are great to be able to work with, and one of the reasons that we love to serve the community and give back is a lot of what we have to share in our message it surrounds on love and helping others to feel of that and just to be able to help push that forward. And as we help others, then they can catch the fire and then continue to help those that surround them as well.
There you go. That's great. So far this year, you and your friends have helped clean up the community garden at McMurray Park and a bike trail along Columbia Point Marina, painted a playground and equipment at Howard Amon Park, cleared weeds at Columbia Playfields, among several others. So how has the response been from the city for these efforts?
It's actually been really cool. We've heard a lot of good things about it. A lot of the local representatives have approached us and they're like, hey, it's been really awesome to see how the city has really enjoyed it and appreciated the work that's happened just because of small acts of service.
Right, that's great. So how do you guys pick the projects that you do?
Our local representative, we work with Jason, who works for the city of Richland. And he comes,
our park rangers.
Yeah. And he gives us a bunch of ideas that are available, and we're able to work with him, and whatever we can come to, we love to help. And so he helps us, he provides opportunities, and we're able to pick and go for it. So
that's great. A lot of these projects are pretty time consuming. You guys will come back and continue to work on some of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, the park over by the Chamna Preservation, that bike trail, it took about a little more than a month.
Oh, really?
A couple times throughout the weekend. It was really fun, and it was a great way to be able to give a little back to the community.
Right. So what did you guys do at the trail?
So they have a bunch of big piles of mulch.
Okay.
And so the whole trail was just dirt and rocks. And so we covered 3/4 of it so that those who are riding bikes or horses or whatever it might be might have a little bit of cushion, so that those who like a little more cushion rather than the rock
Yeah.
they have that opportunity to have a little more comfort in there.
There you go. It kind of helps define the trail too a little bit, I think. So for you personally, why is it important to give back to your community? I know you're here serving a mission. Why is that important to you to serve others?
One thing that I learned at a very young age, I know I'm young, but younger, my great-grandfather, he was very big into community service and helping others. And it definitely makes an incredible impact. For me personally, I love being able to reach out to the community and give back, and it not only provides more opportunities for us to get out and help others, but to provide more opportunities for those in the future that will come to create even better opportunities than when we came here and what we had at the time.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're right that if you instill it in your kids when they're young, it's something that you can kind of carry with you throughout your life. So that's great. What are some of the other volunteer efforts that LDS Missionary Services have provided for our community?
One of the recent things that we've been able to do is we've been able to go to a couple of assisted living homes.
Oh, yeah.
To those who aren't able to get out in the community as much. And we were able to sing a couple of Christmas carols to them.
Oh, you sang to them?
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
a really good opportunity. And some other things is some food drives we've been able to help people out with, or help put packages together for troops serving our country. We'll collaborate with other organizations in the community and send some stuff out their way. Those are just a few of the things that we've been able to be a part of and help out with.
That's great. Are there ever any emergency situations that you guys have responded to, with the Red Cross or anything here locally?
Not to my knowledge. There, I know that there's a bunch around the world, but recently I haven't heard of any emergencies that have come up.
Yeah, no natural disasters.
Yeah.
Let's hope that stays that way. Are there any other projects that you're working on that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, there's one project that is in the works right now. We're creating pine cones. It was another thing that Jason introduced to us, and he took a bunch of pine cones and he painted them different colors, Christmas colors, and we decorated some of them as examples for some of the elementary kids, so that they could mimic them and do that. And Jason will take those and he'll put them along the trails in some of the parks just to kind of decorate and help everybody have a little holiday spirit during this special time of the year.
I bet the kids love that if they walk up on a painted pine cone. That's cool. Okay, so how can citizens get involved?
I think it's very easy to be able to get involved in the community. A lot of times we think we have to do so much, we have to go through a bunch of paperwork, or we have to do whatever it might be. But it's as easy as getting on the internet or social media, or finding a local representative or someone that works for the Parks and Rec, or whoever it might be, and just ask questions. Just ask if there's any opportunities, and there are so many that surround us. It's really easy to get involved.
That's great. Yes, and I know on the Parks and Recreation webpage, anyone who's interested can go to How Do I Volunteer, and there's additional information there for them as well. Thank you, Jaden, for talking with us today about giving back to our community. I'd also like to thank my earlier guest, Chris Newbill from Richland VIPS. If you are interested in volunteering, call the Parks and Recreation Department at 942-PLAY or go to richlandparksandrec.com. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.